Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where this war is going poorly due to the French. And I noticed that the French are no longer in their war with Austria, so they're going to be sending large amounts of forces, and they already are sending large amounts of forces to this front. So we want out of this war as soon as possible. We'll just take our gains with Sweden. We're, I think, going to lose some notoriety from backing off on Lithuania and Belarus, and we're going to have to end up paying war reparations if we can't get them to white peace, which currently we can't. And honestly, war reparations isn't that bad. We need to reorganize our army. There's no doubt about that. And I think, honestly, that we just capitulate here. I think there's no path to victory for Lithuania and Belarus since France is fully focused on us. We still got Sweden out of it, so that's still a gain. And all we lose here is war reps, which I think I'm okay with. So I think we honestly just capitulate. Boom. War reparations we end up taking. That's fine. So we're going to pass a dedicated police force here. Our armies demobilize. And I want to compress our armies down and overhaul them a little bit here. So first things first, I'm going to just start disbanding these from the bottom up. And we are going to bring them to, I think, around 4 armies is the amount that we're going to target for right now. We might expand that later, but let's target 4 armies. Now, keep in mind, disbanding this is just moving all of the units over, and that's okay. So I'm going to take us down to, I think, 50 here. What are the cavalry numbers and artillery numbers? I know you can have too many. Let's take this down to 50 line infantry for right now. And we've also got this cannon artillery here. I'm going to take this down to 10 for the moment, and then we'll convert that over. Same with these hussars. I'm going to take these down to 10, and we're going to upgrade those to lancers. That'll be fine for now. Then we've got this army here. Now, this currently has irregular infantry. I'm going to upgrade those to line infantry. And to be clear, that was a big part of the reason I checked what France's military tech is. They have skirmish infantry. That's a big part of the reason why we couldn't face them. But mostly it's manpower at this point. So we've got some cannon artillery and some hussars here that we're going to upgrade over. But we're also going to need to get, looks like 5 of each. So mobile artillery here. There we go. And also we're going to get 5 lancers here. Those are going to get queued up at the bottom of the queue, and that's going to be very, very slow. And then we've got 4 irregular infantry, so we need, what, 11? I think 11. So 5, 10, 11. Yes, something along the lines of that. Now then, this unit here, we've got 5 cannon artillery that we can swap over to mobile artillery, and then 5 hussars that we can move over as well. So I want to bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for lancers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, looks good. So that'll be okay for now. We'll need to get those trained up, and we'll also need to get these guys set up. So currently, that's 26 plus 1. Cannon artillery, I'm going to cancel that. And the hussars, I'm going to cancel as well. And then the line infantry is currently at 27. So we're going to need to bring this to... What does that put us at? 26 plus 28, that's a little bit too much. We need to ditch 4. Like that. Okay, now we need to get our mobile artillery and our cavalry in here. So we need, how many was that? That was 4? And that was 10. So that's too many. But we can come back over here and take this down like that. Okay, lancers are going to, of course, be next. And we're going to do something like that. I think that's only 9. Okay, we need 1 more. So that's going to take a while to get that all built. The question is, do we want to prioritize that so we can get them training? How much do barracks take to construct at this stage of the game? Did they change it? It's still pretty quick. Okay, I'm going to move all of these up, and we're going to get these barracks built. There's a lot of these barracks. Okay, there's also this motor industry here and these government administrations that I'm going to move up. And then I want to come down over here and find this railway, government administration, railway. Okay, something along the lines of that. And I also want to queue up let's see, we have some transportation shortages. Ammunition, coal, engines. That's what we really need right now. So a coal mine in Moscow. That means that we're also going to need an extra railway in Moscow. We'll get that queued up. And then we will need engines and ammunition. And I think we might end up needing explosives as well. So we'll build an explosives factory. We'll build a munitions factory once we can. We haven't finished up percussion cap yet. Percussion cap is what we need for the munitions plant, right? Yes. So we'll get that going as soon as we can. Right now, though, we definitely do need our motor industries scaled up a bit. Okay, so something kind of like this. I'm going to move up this railway. I'm going to sort these up here according to how finished they already are. So that's going to be something like this. Cool. Something like that. So we'll let these finish up, then we're going to work on the barracks. Those should go pretty quick. Then we're going to work on the railways. That's the idea here. Okay. What are our taxes at? Yeah, that all looks fine. No problem whatsoever there. So we did get Sweden out of the deal. It's not perfect, that's for sure, but we did get Sweden. Why is this all still showing up as occupied? It feels like that shouldn't show up as occupied anymore. Okay, very strange. So minus 15% enactment success chance, or we could take a setback here, and that's what we're going to do. We have a 44% chance of success here, 20% chance of advance, and a 35% chance of stall. So a 64% chance of good. That'll be fine. We're currently working on these two government administrations. They'll get finished up eventually. And we just need to work our way through this list and get started working on those barracks. But what we need right now, more than anything, is manpower. So we can see we're at 26.2k out of 70k. And then the tick happens, and we are at 26.6k. So the training rate on these is pretty low. No doubt about it. But I do think that... That's actually very negative on the convoys. That's noted. I do think that it's a very big deal that we exited the war a little earlier, because I really don't see that there was a way to win that at that point. We got Sweden, and we just had to cut our losses, which is fine. So our infamy did definitely drop some from not actually taking Lithuania and Belarus, but I think we still gave up some infamy there. For the time being, we're just going to let our infamy drop. We are going to let our armies regenerate, and we're going to start overhauling our armies fairly soon. Now, convoys is definitely a problem at this moment, and we should think about doing something about that. We could build additional port levels. We definitely could. How many convoys would each of these produce? 150, and we need roughly 1,000. Okay, so 150, 300, 600, 900, that's 1,000 there. I'll toss in these as well. Okay, I don't necessarily want to build these ports right now, but they do build pretty quick. Maybe we should get that underway. Unfortunately, that does delay construction of our barracks a little further. But that is expected, I suppose. And I do want to get our convoy situation under control. That said, a lot of this is trade routes. So maybe we should just cancel some trade routes. Like this one, although that costs 0 convoys. The rest of these are making decent revenue. So I think we're better off keeping our trade and just building these ports. So we'll let that go for now. We need to get these convoys made, but we also need to get the motor industries made, and these couple of government administrations finished up. We need to get our barracks built. There's a lot of construction that we really need to do. So to that end, I do want to start bulking up our construction rate. Oh, we got an advance here. Cool. Loyalists? Sure, we'll take loyalists. That seems fine. I also want to think about moving our armed forces into government. That is going to drop us 10 legitimacy. But what that might do is give us the ability to pass professional army, which would be great. Armed forces are endorsing it. The gentry are opposing it, but I don't mind that all that much. That'll be an after dedicated police force enactment thing, right? So that's okay for now. I think I'm going to cancel any of these ports here that are, other than this one, that are not full efficiency. Let's see, 300, 600, that'll be 900, and we're currently only at minus 50. That actually just changed extraordinarily significantly. I'm going to cancel these 3 ports as well. Our convoys are going up very rapidly. I'm guessing that the French were sinking our convoys, and we're now replenishing them. I think that's what was going on there. So we don't need to build these ports. And in fact, we can delay these, which I'm going to do. We don't need them now. Good to know. Good to know. So we got another advance here. Armed forces would get more power here, or we could just simply 15% enactment success chance. One of these days, we're going to have a success roll. Now that it's at 80%, surely that will be soon. Oh boy. So we're currently chilling at about 4K surplus, which isn't very high. A lot of this is, of course, due to paying 14.2K in war reparations. It's a little bit painful, no doubt about it, but I think it's reasonably fine. We are seeing our manpower slowly regenerate here, and we're going to recruit quite soon. We just need to get these constructed first. I want to get these... Actually, you know what we should do? We should intersperse these. Barracks build so quickly that we should just do something like this and have at least some barracks progress happening. Because barracks only take 4 weeks to build. So we can do something like this. Cool. I absolutely do want to get that going. After we finish percussion cap, we're going to queue up a munitions plant, for sure. We have an ammunition shortage right now. And from there, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to research general staff, I think, because what we need to upgrade our units, if we go into, I guess, here, what we need to upgrade our units to skirmish infantry is general staff. So that'll be a very big deal for us, plus 25 offense, 35 defense, and 10 morale loss. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'm not sure if that's... that's not over the previous. That's just the base value. So that's a net gain of 5 offense and 10 defense. So we'll definitely take that. Hey, we finally progressed to consideration. I like it. And we're going to be finishing up more of these. I'm going to continue to move these barracks up about like so. There we go. So as these barracks finish up, I want to continue working on them. But I think we'll keep them in a slightly lesser priority position, which is where they're at right now. We're only working on one of those, whereas we're working on the motor industry and the railway. So that'll be absolutely fine. And I absolutely do want to get that manpower worked on. That'll be very, very important. Okay, so now what we can do is we can actually leave this barracks where it's at, but we can put it here. But no, I want to keep it where it's at for the moment. This will be fine. Although this barracks should be moved up to here. Like that. Okay, that looks good for the moment. And I would also like to expand our construction sector a little bit. So let's put one in Moscow, and we'll call that good for now. Do construction sectors get economy of scale? No, they do not. No, they are. They are subject to economy of scale effects up to level 20. Gotcha. So that is good. We definitely want to take advantage of economy of scale. So there's percussion cap unlocked. That allows us to immediately drop a munitions plant down. And we're going to put that also in Moscow. Moscow is where our job seekers are. And that's fine for the moment, but we're going to need to eventually diversify a bit from Moscow. So next up, as I said, we're going for general staff. That is 100% the goal. We need to upgrade our armies. That is very clear from that last war. Really? We rolled a stall here. That's only a 7% chance. Okay. Well, sure. I don't want to loosen our purse strings. We'll just lose some enactment success chance. And that ended up going mostly into advance, so that'll be okay. I'm not too concerned about that. We do see that we are slightly negative financially with that additional construction sector. That's not shocking. And we're going to finish up this barracks here. Cool. And at this point, we're just going to basically leave this be. I'm not going to do too much more over here. We're slightly positive, slightly negative. Okay, sure. We really do need to get these barracks wrapped up, but that's going to be a bit of a project. Because we also need things like motor industries and railways and coal mines, and there's a lot of stuff in general that we need. We are seeing a railway being built, a private construction in Earl, and does that mean that we can cancel one? The answer is yes, if we haven't already built it. So we can head over to here. We can see that's 0 + 1. So that one must only be in the construction queue here. Okay, that's fine. The Gentry Assembly want legal guardianship to pass. It's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. And let's see here. 130k individuals will become more loyal. That's fine. Reasonably solid. Okay, so we're currently working on the munitions plant. That's good. And the railway will be done in 6 weeks in Astrakhan, also in the category of good. And then we have a government administration in Moscow being built, and that'll be done in 16 weeks. We'll let that finish up. Our railway in Moscow is kind of a high priority, though. Let's move that up for the time being. And then that means that we can move this barracks down in terms of priority. So this will be reasonably fine here. We're not quite constructing 3 things at once at full speed, but we're close. We're close. So that seems okay. We definitely need to boost our construction, but in order to do that, we need to boost our economy. Our economy is improving. And there, we passed into adoption on dedicated police force. Looks good. We don't have all that much national debt left. We're working on paying that off, but it's not a big deal. Our diplomatic pact, when does that expire? Let's see, modifiers? That's probably in here somewhere. Or actually, it's probably under our diplomatic information. Let's see, war reparations. When does this expire? It doesn't say. No, it doesn't say. Okay. I think it's 5 years. But we'll find out. Okay, so this railway in Moscow is 24 weeks away from finishing. The munitions plant is 12 weeks. The government administration is 10 weeks. We're just going to continue to work our way through this. We have some significant shortages right now. Explosives is a big one. We have a factory queued. And ammunition is also a shortage, which we have a factory queued there as well. So that's fine. And then we've got all of these transportation shortages. So we're just looking to build a railway in each of these locations to cover that. That will be a significant gain, but that'll take time to get that done. That is understood. So we're currently seeing a coal mine being built with our private construction. That sounds good. Coal mine, wheat farm, motor industry, wheat farm, fertilizer plant. That's all fine. I don't mind that at all. That's completely and totally okay. We're going to be chilling for a while here. We're still at 46.7 infamy, and we are slowly watching the morale, or rather the manpower of our army replenish. Manpower was our primary issue when fighting France, that and the tech deficit. So absolutely getting general staff is going to be a big deal. And then military statistics gives us daily organization gain and allows advanced tactics training for barracks, a production method. Okay, so currently, we can't get general training, but that will boost up our training rate once we have gotten general staff. Really? We hit a stall there. 18% chance on that after the stall. Okay. Sure. Well, that's reasonably fine. We could go down to power of the purse here with our naval base, and I'm going to do exactly that. Okay. So, for the time being, we're just continuing to chill here. 2% of Swedish pops become more loyalist. That sounds good. We will absolutely like Swedish pops becoming more loyal. We are definitely seeing radicalism go up faster than loyalism, and that is because of standard of living, which has been broadly creeping up, but it's not great. It is all above standard in terms of averages, though. So that's okay. We really don't need to be continuing to damage relations with Lithuania. So for now, that's reasonably fine. What's Prussia's opinion of us? Antagonistic and hostile? Okay. And their military strength, 4908 to our 2972 right now. Well, ours is going to continue to boost up a fair amount from this construction and from replenishing our manpower. The manpower training rate really needs to come up here, and General Staff will give us the ability to have general training, which boosts our training rate by 18 per level. That's going to be a pretty big deal, actually. So that seems solid. We are running a small deficit right now. We could consider putting in a consumption tax. What would that be on? Fine art? It wouldn't make us a lot. I'll run it, but it's probably not great. So Sweden. I'm out of curiosity. Sweden over here, or actually this area of Sweden. I'm wondering what the turmoil here is. 42.1. I think we can cancel the violent suppression here. That'll give us another 100 authority to work with. So basically we're making like 700 for free, in essence. Okay, and as far as Sweden goes, we are going to want to reduce autonomy with them, but we can't do that until we no longer have a truce. So, Estonia, can we reduce autonomy? No. Finland. We could annex subject. Would they accept this? No, they would not. And I really don't want to start a military diplomatic play right now. This would be a bad idea, in my opinion. So we're not going to do that. We can check in down over here. Ban slavery. They would accept this. They might accept this annexation. I don't want to do this just yet, though. So we'll ban slavery. They will accept that. Out over here, we could ban slavery as well. And down here, they'll accept all of those. Beautiful. So that's fine. We now probably have a truce for a while. Yeah, that's expected. Okay, so we hit an advance here. And 10% success chance, or 20 prestige. That is actually a pretty solid amount of prestige. But I think we'll take the success chance, bumping that up to 58%. We've had some awkward rolls here. No doubt about that. I want to take us to professional military as soon as possible. But of course, we have a lot of constructions that we still need to do. We're working on the motor industry, explosives factory, and coal mines here, but we're going to start working on these barracks very, very soon, and they'll build very, very quickly. So that's really not a concern. We could, however, move up barracks like so, and I think I'm going to do that. We'll just add in a couple of extra barracks here and continue to work on these constructions. Looks solid for the moment. So dedicated police force should be passing very, very soon. Our population is continuing to slowly creep upwards. And if we look at these guys here, this army is now kind of maxed out, except for manpower. Its manpower is not maxed out. We're still working on training up some additional manpower. But continuing to work on things like general staff will be very useful for that. Okay, dedicated police force passes. And now the question is, what would professional army look like? It's not going to radicalize anyone. Let's do it. Professional army is going to be a very big deal, right? And that is going to give us weekly unit experience gain for armies and navies. Interesting. Barracks max level, that's going to be useful. Maximum conscription limit is going to be, I think, yeah, that's going to be a little higher. Cool. And a 1% conscription rate as opposed to a 4% conscription rate. So that'll be absolutely fine, I think. Conscripts aren't ideal. There's no doubt about that. Okay, we're going to let this barracks finish, and then I'm going to move up this barracks. Actually, no, I'm not. We're going to work primarily on these two, and the barracks will be a secondary concern. Okay, so we're definitely running a deficit at this time. I'm going to raise our taxes until such a time as our finances turn around a bit. But that's going to be a little while. we need a lot of transportation, and we need a lot of barracks. This is all going to be fairly expensive. So it's definitely going to take time for that to happen. We're just going to have to raise taxes a little bit. I want to get out of debt and not be paying this interest, but the interest isn't a big deal. So I'm not too concerned about that interest. Honestly, most of our gains have been going into our diplomatic pacts here. Those war reparations should be up eventually. I really wish this tooltip told us when. It's weird that it doesn't. It's probably somewhere in our modifiers. Well, let's see here. It should be like a 10%, right? I don't see it in there. Okay, so that's very odd. I'm not sure when that diplomatic pact expires, but we'll figure it out eventually. Plus 15% enactment success chance. Sure. Right off the bat, plus 15% sounds good. So we have a 41% chance to stall. That's pretty much due to the gentry assembly. Yeah. And then this debate is okay, but we have a 0% chance of success. Or rather, of advance. We have a 35% chance of success. So we have a better chance of success or debate than we do of stall, but stall will likely happen here and there. So that's okay for now. Once we're no longer having these war reparations, we can certainly drop our taxes. So that'll be good. We're currently building exclusively barracks. And those will finish up very swiftly, as I said. It's 4 weeks per barracks, and we'll just cruise right through these. Although these ones will be slightly longer because of construction efficiency. Okay, sure. Hydraulic cranes has been unlocked. That sounds great. And we're going to need to get those railways under construction soon. But clearly we need overhauls here. And I do want to rename these as well to something I can actually pronounce. That would be a useful thing. I'm going to go with the stunningly cleverly named First Russian Army. There we go. And then I'm going to go with the similarly original Second Russian Army. Excellent. And then, you're never going to guess it, but this one, I know, it's shocking. This is going to be the Third Russian Army. Then, this one, it's absolutely stunning, the Fifth Russian, with an I, Army. There we go. And now next time we fight the French, they're going to be like, where's the fourth? I'm sure that's how the AI thinks. Definitely. So we hit a stall here, losing us that 15% that we gained on the last round. That's fine. We still have a much higher chance of debate and success than we do of stall. So that should eventually pass, and that will be a big deal for us militarily. I want to get these barracks constructed, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to probably continue our chill period. Yeah, we can let our infamy drop for a while. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.